Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today at the Proving Ground circuit on BeamNG Drive for the final time. Yes, we're going to run the last vehicles around this course. It has been a really good fun circuit, and we're going to see if any of these can survive for any length of time. I don't know, really. The oil pan damage might be an issue. Probably not going to be an issue with the first car, though. This is a rally spec of the Cherrier. I think in the very first episode I run a kind of basic version of the Cherrier. It's not been the strongest of cars. Rally spec is normally, I mean, funnily enough, a pretty good shout for this kind of course. You have ground clearance and you have suspension designed to deal with bumps, which is good. There is a couple of downsides, though, to rally cars. The first is, well, with higher ground clearance does come a slightly bigger chance of rolling over on some jumps. The other thing is, of course, this is a quick car. This is a very quick car, in fact. Which means it actually hits jumps and stuff quite quickly, and even when it's damaged, it can still go quite fast. So, unlike with some vehicles you see that kind of damage themselves to a point where they don't actually take that much more damage anymore, a rally car, that's unlikely to be the case. It'll be probably going quite quickly up until the point that it stops, but we will have to see how it goes. Now, of course, the rules are cars are going to be driven as hard as they can, which for a rally car does mean it can often be driven quite quickly. I'm having way too much fun just chucking this around very sideways. Right, well, stop doing that. Don't need to break it in a really, really dumb way. Now, I'd expect this to survive. I mean, the thing you see with rally cars is they tend to survive quite well. They're not going to be flat over here. It would probably clear the fence. So we're going to go the normal speed around the highish 60 miles an hour. That might be a little bit fast for the jump there. We've damaged the induction system. We haven't killed the turbo. We damaged a bit in there, but it hasn't taken out the whole turbo. That's good. The turbo dies, then you are in a lot of trouble, really, with these. With these vehicles, with any of these engines, you lose a big chunk of power, and the car will not be good. That could be a way that this would actually break itself, and then really be unable to do too much more damage if it loses the turbo. We probably would see it's actually struggle to damage itself, but we'll have to wait and find out. I don't know what we're going to see with this one. It's going to come up to the end of a first lap relatively well, and you kind of saw on the landing of Shafted when we lost the induction or damaged the induction system. The other downside with the rally cars, such soft suspension, does mean they can bounce quite a bit on the landing of some jumps, so they kind of like bounce back in the air and then have a secondary crash, secondary roll or whatever. So that's something to, I think, keep an eye out for. But oh god, let's get it under control before we take these tabletop jumps. Here we go, nicely does. I mean, it's quick laps with this car, of course. Lots of power. I say lots of power, but a good chunk of power. And more important thing is controllable power. The drag cars, of course, have got horrific levels of, they've got silly levels of power, but you can't ever use it, whereas this can use its power almost all the time. We have lost a bumper, not the biggest concern for the car. All the wheels are still straight on the vehicle. We can still drive it fairly normally. I say that as it's just too tempting to slide it around. But yeah, the tracking is pretty good. Maybe a little tweaked, but that's kind of to be expected almost. Don't oversteer it into the spinner. While funny, not what you want. Not conducive to a good survivability, that one. Yeah, I mean, it's so far, all is looking pretty good on the rally car. We had rally cars die quite quickly around this circuit, so this one here is doing well. Alright, let's just get the throttle. I coast my way up the ramp and then jump on the throttle at the end just to try and keep the nose up in the air a little bit. We don't want the nose landing on the ground. This has still got a strong radiator. It's designed for rallying, this car, set up for rallying. It's still got a radiator in the nose, and if that hits on the floor, we're going to be in trouble. I mean, we've still got the oil pan to consider as well. Yeah, shafted is potentially a hazard for the oil pan. We have bent the front. I think it's just the bodywork would bend the front up. I actually thought for a second we kind of like pushed the front suspension up, but I'm not completely sure. Ooh, that's not what we needed. I think it's mostly just bodywork. Certainly the car, with a very soft suspension, the car does move around quite a lot. Oh, that's not nice. There's something not right with the steering. I'm not quite sure what's gone on. There's certainly something not right with the front end of the car. I just can't quite figure it out. Oh, okay, I can see the front right wheel has been tweaked. It's not horrific, but you can kind of see... Oh, that looks like it's But fair, it looks like it's quite loose in that front corner now. That is not what you want on your car. You do not want front wheels that are kind of flailing around a little bit. Now, of course, it doesn't help if it is starting to take damage up there. Under heavy acceleration, because the car's so softly sprung, I mean, you can see how much it almost wheelies, the weight transfer going on. It's actually lifting the front wheels up, and if they're having trouble steering under heavy acceleration, it is going to have more trouble because the front wheels just aren't making as good contact with the road. So that's a thing we have going on with this. I mean, outside of it's a little uncomfortable to drive, but nothing too bad. We'll slow. Okay, it does kind of wander randomly. That's a little alarming, actually. It's okay this time around onto shafted there, but it's... Oh, we've got a problem with the rear suspension as well. Rear left looks like it's compressing a... No, maybe it is just very softly sprung. It looked like it's definitely not right on the old geometry at the moment. He's still carrying plenty of speed. But that's kind of the scary thing, is we haven't got great geometry. The car is still quite quick. So we are going to be hitting these jumps with fair old force. Oh, clonked that one over there. We're fine. Well, we live another lap. It's a good showing so far from the rally car up towards the crescendo jump we head. Yeah, my concern is... that kind of landed quite a nice flat and level. My concern is that it's going to have this sort of randomly wandering steering at some point. Oh, taking off from a jump, and it's going to land that jump really awkwardly. It's already a little bit sketchy at times across these, so yeah, if it continues to get worse, I'm not sure really what's doing the worst of the damage. I presume the big landings. I mean, yes, it's a rally car, it's designed to deal with some bumps, but shafted jump is way nastier than a jump you would normally have a rally car deal with. So repeated kind of trips across there is likely to cause it some trouble. Little sideways through there. It actually does kind of help with the slightly poorly steering if we can hold it. I don't think any of the wheels has quite got the right camber or toe that it started off live with. It's not horrific, but it's not great. So how much is this car? I think there's more damage than just a bent wheel. I swear the body, like the whole front end, was almost changing height. Is it I wonder what has broken in the front of this car. Because it's... maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just the way it was angled. It looked like the whole front end was kind of moving around as the wheels shifted, as if the suspension components aren't properly connected again. It's not impossible. I guess we have seen it before with cars. It is rare that you see that kind of level of suspension damage, but who knows? So far, I mean, it's still looking pretty good. We're still... Speed-wise, we've barely lost anything compared to the start of this one, which is remarkable. It might actually be the furthest a rally car has gone around here. The Metro, or Metro 6R4, the Covert, whatever the Covert pretend Metro one is. I forgot the name of it. That one did fairly well, but that let go. I think that's steering damage. Oh, no. Oh, okay, I had to abandon my steer. I had to pull it away from the gantry and then had to stop steering, so I kept steering. I was going to pull the wheel off because it was on its side. That has made matters way worse. Yeah, there's a lot more movement going on at the front than there should be. Okay, well, we've got completely different toes and cambers going on at the rear. Definitely got all sorts of unhappiness at the front. That's fine. We'll just plough it into the water. I mean, it's a tough car. It is flying into that water with no real harm done. It's across the checkerboard kind of is weird. It feels like this is going to catch at some point on the checkerboard and something horrific is going to happen. Can I get you sliding around here? Nope, doesn't want to know. That's fine. We'll head across the Toblerones. These don't really pose any threat to the Cherrier. Certainly not at the moment. It might do later if it gets worse than this. Oh. Come on, cruise your way through there. We'll go back down to first. Whatever mechanical problems ailed it with the induction system, they have not got worse, so that is fine. We'll have a little bit of a lift to set the car up here. That's fine, and then foot down across the big jump. Still all good. Ooh, that kind of crunched more the rear, I think, than the front, but It definitely does not look healthy at the front corner. Looks like it's got way more suspension travel than it should do. Is that just the body coming off of the chassis, or suspension being more broken? Very difficult to tell at this point. Yeah, I don't know. It's very odd. Not normally what you expect to see from a rally car around here. It's not normally how they go. You normally get, it starts getting a little bit of steering damage, it gets switch or becomes really awkward to control heading up towards a jump. Flies of a jump at a weird angle, and that's the end of the car. Because it lands and tears a wheel off or something. And this is doing different stuff. That's a big crunch. It's a big crunch, and it's almost like, almost like this front end became all of them very solid after that big crunch for a moment. I don't know, it's, what is going on with the front of this car? Something's really wrong with the front of my car. I can't figure it out. It's like the whole front end is moving around on its own. It's like half disconnected the front of the vehicle. What is it? The Barstow that you can have like the front end come off. It almost feels like this is starting to try and lose its front end. I mean, the rear wheels are not happy. The front wheels are. The front end is not happy. It's doing really weird stuff. The body, I think, is making it look worse than it is. Oh, that's an awful angle to try and take through there. Okay, definitely don't want second gear coming out of the spinners. But we've still got enough steering to get through the spinners without having a panic, basically, which is good. Oh, come on, there we go, Cartwright. Let's just... Ooh, that's not really the twist we wanted. Heading up here. Big jump once again. Lands fairly nicely. We're getting all right with the landings of Shafted. I'm kind of surprised. We've seen a lot of rally cars really struggle around here, and I did not expect the Cherrier to be insanely strong. If I'm honest, I did not expect to see this level of performance. Even though I know a rally car does technically make a lot of sense for this, considering we've now got oil pan damage and everything to worry about, and yeah, rally cars. Oh, no tendency to do that. Oh dear. Oh dear. We are a front-wheel drive rally car now. We should still work though. It's fine, we've lost a wheel, but we are still all good. I mean, it was always going to roll at some point. Oh, why did it flip that way? That is not what I expected from the car. I mean, previous roll, yeah, that's fair enough. I'm kind of surprised in some ways. I mean, it lost a wheel on the first roll. We've had lots of cars fall over that don't immediately ping wheels off. But I guess this one here, the suspension has been quite broken up until this point now. It's definitely going to get a lot worse because we're going to be landing awkwardly. I'm kind of glad we lost a rear wheel rather than a front wheel. Rear one is actually... this is easier to keep front wheels on the ground, get some power down in all of this. It's very difficult to tell what condition the front left corner is in because it is covered in debris. As long as the wheel doesn't chew through all the bodywork, I'm fine. I mean, we are now completely front-wheel drive. That was to be expected. Woo! Oh dear. Bad things have gone on with the rear, like, subframe of the car. It's not in a good shape. We're fine. We're less fine. We've gone for a spin. We're doing a ballet. What is going on with the front? Oh, something's gone very wrong with the front suspension. Okay, that makes sense as to why. I mean, it's been made considerably worse than it was, but that is why it was driving funny, because the front end is not connected properly at all, much as the rear end is now not connected properly either. Can we actually turn left? We can, but not in a conventional manner, because we're crabbing like mad. Oh, God. That's not how a car should physics like that. We've managed to make the front end look like one of the bloody Dakar trucks. That's how busted that is. Look at the ride height we've suddenly got going on when I steer that direction. That's not right. That's not right at all. Can I actually fit this through the spinners? I don't know if I can. Maybe. Yes, we can. We're through. We can still clear the crawler rule, no problem. Now, we can't go through... To be fair, a lot of vehicles can't go through the spinner in pristine condition that quickly, so it's fair enough to sort of take your time when your car is heavily damaged. But this one, I mean, once it's out of the spinners, we're still up to like 60 miles an hour. That's the thing with rally cars. They can take a beating, and it's still heading along quite nicely. That was a clonk and a half on the floor. Very difficult to drive. I'd try and knock the rear wheel back into line, but I'm not sure. Some debris has fallen out of it. Yeah, I'd try and knock that rear wheel back into line. That would make my life much easier, only the chances of it working are very small, considering the rather large amount of control issues we are currently having. Can we get off this jump without landing on the front corner? No. No, we cannot. And over we go. What is going on with the front end of the car? It's not happy, I'll tell you that, but we got like just this horrifically variable ride height. It's crazy. It's impressive. I've got to say, I've never seen a vehicle brake in this way before. Not to this extent. I mean, we've seen busted suspension, we've seen the rear axles come off some of the muscle cars where they were kind of just bouncing along on the, sort of floating, if you like, not properly connected, but I've never seen a front end, especially not the modern sort of suspension setup, do this before. We're going to go over, and basically the radiator's still fine in this. We're good. We're going to another lap. It is the Cherrier that refuses to give up, which is okay. Ooh, okay, that's a bad time. Engine is starved of oil. Car is upside down and all sorts of poorly. Over we go. Rear wheel is in a bad, bad way. Front end is in an awful way. Oh. Yeah, thankfully, a lot of left-handers on this circuit. My car can drive around the left-handers. It crabs, but it can drive around them. The right-handers are a problem. Oh, more problems are going on. We're going to shed some debris. But it's fine. Can I... I mean, I guess if we... Yeah, there we go. Come on, come on. That's... Engine is starved of oil. It shouldn't be. We haven't lost the oil pan as far as I'm aware. It's gone away again. Maybe we did lose the oil pan in one of those rolls that I didn't see. I'm not sure. I'm used to that message popping up when we've got... when we've rolled the car. Oh, that's bad. I mean, we're in the water. We'll cool the engine. Not that temperature is a problem here. Oh, come on, get down onto your wheels, please, car. Oh, I mean, I don't care about the rear half shaft. The rear's gone anyway. We lost the whole drive to the rear ages ago, so it doesn't matter if we lose the half shaft there. We are flappy doors. Oh. Oh, the rear subframe's come off. The actual whole rear subframe has fallen off the... Well, it's not fallen off. It's just completely detached itself from the car. We are in uncharted territory here. I mean, I wanted a spectacular end to this series, and this is amazing. I fear the steering's had it. More the rear wheels had it, because that is unbelievable. Never seen that before. Yeah, the entire rear subframe has come off. The front is, I think, barely clinging on. The issue I've got is... Oh, I can't really steer... Oh, no. There we go. There we go. If I've got to get it to 20 miles an hour within a sensible amount of time... Oh, otherwise we will be counted out. I fear we might have too much difficulty in keeping this under control. Oh, here we go. No, don't burst into wheel spin. This is taking a lot of concentration. We've cleared 20 miles an hour. We are going to We are going to die in the spinners. I want to see if I can limp this to the spinner. How on earth is this actually moving? I mean, I've driven a lot of wreckmobiles in this series. I mean, this is the point of this series. I want to see cars get to this state and just refuse to give up. And this car is absolutely refusing to give up on its journey around the Proving Ground circuit. Come on. Come on, Cherrier rally car. you're kind of struggling with the turns. Sometimes it's working. It kind of depends on what the rear wheel's doing. Come on, there we go. It's really annoying because it does sometimes turn. It's just really difficult. I fear you are. If we can somehow get this through the spinners, through sheer determination. Oh no! Actually, no. That spinner kind of helped us. Oh dear, this spinner is not gonna. Oh, well, it didn't help us. I mean, it kind of did help us. It's pushed us out of the spinners, at least. That's a thing that's happened. Now we are... Why are you doing... It's like something out of Cars. That's what we've got to here. Can I even turn you around to carry on? And we are allowed to... So we're not allowed to grab reverse if the car misses a corner. We are allowed to grab reverse, of course, if it gets fired wide because of, like, lands awkwardly or pings off of a spinner. Can I actually make it around? He's going to overheat at some point. I don't think we've really got the steering. I think it's actually now beached on a speed bump. Can I spin it free without grabbing a reverse here? We tried to be cheeky and use gravity to do it. I think... Oh, this car is on its last legs. Really. Oh, come on. Come on. I don't want to give up on you, car. You have been... Oh, unbelievably strong. I've probably been a bit kind to you in some places. It is... I mean, it is barely drivable at this stage. Come on, get up to the jump. You can make this. I think... Oh, dear. I mean, it still kind of can steer left. It's very, very loose definition of steering left. Can I actually get you to turn around here? Maybe. Just. How are you not given up, car? You should have given up a long time ago. There we go. We're still past the 20-mile-an-hour mark. It's turning... it turns... I can turn it left, but it almost has to be full left lock the whole way. It's gonna. We're gonna get it wedged against the wall. I can already tell you this. It's not gonna be able to keep doing this when we get into the narrower part of the map. Oh God! The axle has actually screwed us there because it's folded in under itself. Oh, that wheel might be in a better place now, actually. Come on, Cherrier. Yes, that's way better. That is way better. I've got my full range of steering-ish back. Thank you, car. You have fixed yourself. Oh, now there's a lot of steam and stuff coming off of it. Oh, can I get out of here? Just. Oh no, we've fallen over. Actually, falling over is better. If it hadn't fallen over, it might have actually been pressed up against the wall. So, over we go onto our wheels. But that is going to have moved the... Oh, I think our front left wheel is done in. Does that have any steering now? Oh, the front left does have some. Come on, Cherrier. Oh, no. Can we bounce off the wall and keep... Okay, this is unbelievably cheesy, this car. This is just cheesing everything. I think that's going to be a death because I can't pull that away from... Oh! It's so broken, it can't even get itself wedged against a wall because it just pings off. It's fallen over again. That was to be expected, really. This is ridiculous, if I'm honest with you. I've beans that up on my recovery in there. I mean, it's unbelievably still got... Oh, no, it might... No, it hasn't got any steering left anymore. That is going to be it stuck. So unbelievably, it does have some steering, but not enough anymore. That's the end of that. I can only get that out from reversing. And that... I had full control of it as we were driving around there, but that is the end. I've got to go and lift up the front and see what damage we're talking here, because this has been... basically, the skid plate is all held on up there, but... No, the front end isn't actually as bad as I thought it was. It's definitely not healthy, but yeah, the front end seems okay. The back of it Let's just... Car, could you... I know it's going to take you a second, actually. If we just... Oh, okay, didn't realise that dropped both. I thought it only dropped one. I have never seen... Not from a modern vehicle. Not from a modern vehicle at the whole rear subframe. That's amazing. But it kept going. It kept going. That's one hell of a showing for the rally car right there. And the final vehicle to run through the proving ground circuit. It's going to have a tough act to follow, to be honest with you, after that rally car. I didn't expect it to do that, but we have got a pigeon. This is a four-wheeled pigeon. It's an official vehicle now in the game, unlike the Dove. That used to be the sort of four-wheeled pigeon mod from a while ago, but yeah, this is a proper four-wheeled official pigeon. Now, I have given it a slightly bigger engine. I've given it the 1.3 litre 4-cylinder rather than the 500cc 3-cylinder because I wanted a little bit more speed. Now, the normal pigeon is strange. The normal pigeon is normally a very strong car, but this circuit is very mean to it. So I don't know what it's going to do to the four-wheeled version. I don't know how strong this is. Oh, we're going to go for a spin, are we? Sure. Okay. That's a thing. Ooh, this does not have any... Oh, that's a lot of axle wobble. That's alarming. This does not have any rear end grip at all. It's weird, like the lack of rear end grip. It doesn't feel... Oh, God, I think it's the juddering that's going through it that's causing the trouble for this vehicle more than anything. It's weird. It's like it doesn't... Oh, we've snapped a steering arm. I presume that's what's gone anyway, like a tie rod from the pigeon. I mean, I was curious as to how well it would last, but the juddering is so great, I think. That's just pulled off a tie rod while going across the checkerboard. This is going to be a real problem for the spinners. The pigeon is quite small. It might get away without taking too much damage, but we've got to get it to the spinners first, and that's a concern. Now, we may be able to... Oh, yeah, this is bad. Oh, can I? No. Oh, I'm sorry, pigeon. Oh. Can we at least drag you out of here? Again, much as was said with the oh, that's a lot of juddering. Much as with the previous car. If it gets pushed into a hazard by landing with jump, or it gets a spinner, that's perfectly fair to grab reverse because it's just being fired randomly about. Oh, trees. We're good. I mean, if anything, that hit on the spinner has actually helped the controllability of the pigeon. Weird, I know, but it has actually made it a little bit better to drive. I think it bent the wheel so much and has bent some other stuff. As I say that, we are careering towards disaster here. Come on, pigeon. No, don't career towards disaster that way. We've gathered it back on the course. This is going to be a bad landing, I fear for you. Okay. I mean, that wasn't going too fast, and at least the vehicle is relatively light. So there is that. I would... I was going to say I'd gladly knock the front wheel off, but it's so far pushed up, I'm not sure it's doing all that much anyway. So much juddering, and the normal pigeon doesn't do that. As far as I'm aware, anyway, unless it's changed. Maybe it changed? I don't feel like it did, though. I don't know. We're going to career off towards the wall. Oh, I mean, we can kind of... We're using the roll cage to sort of ping us off the wall. Try and get around the corner. Oh, pigeon, come on now. Come on now. You're sure... Don't fail me on this hill. Oh, I'm worried we're going to lose the other wheel. Considering how easily we lost one wheel, very, very concerned about the one... It's the wheel that matters. I say that, actually. I doubt this has a locked diff, so if we lose one of the rear wheels, we're probably dead in the water as well. But, yeah, I am very concerned about that front left. It doesn't look healthy, if I'm honest with you. Oh, I tried to go on the throttle through there, which was a silly thing to do. It's juddering again, as we said. I wasn't even being a lunatic with the throttle that time around. Doesn't take much to get it juddering about. I mean, if we can somehow limp our way to the spinners, although we're going to have real trouble getting this even to the start-finish line, I fear here. Come on, pigeon. Are you stuck on the grass? Uh-oh, I cannot get it away from the wall. The only thing that I can do here is hope that we can ping it off the wall further down the line. No, it's this steering again has just got the better of it. It just wouldn't turn. I mean, we had loads of time and I was steering as much as I could, but that tie rod going so early on was a real killer for that one. It limped about okay, but fighting against a wheel buckled at that angle, just couldn't do it. So there we go. Yeah, and horrific axle wobble going on when under power. It probably didn't help matters, but there we go. Not quite as spectacular as the Cherrier, but it is equally broken and kind of died in the same way, not being able to steer away from a wall. On to the leaderboard, and the Cherrier rally car will go into a 5th place. It was a hell of a show from that vehicle. I got to say, one of the weirdest falling aparts I've seen, certainly from a modern vehicle on here. It is a great show. It was a really good run around the circuit. He's not quite going to take victory. That Grand Marshal estate car is going to be the winner of this series, really, because, well, these are the last vehicles to run around it. The Pigeon is now on the other end of the table. We had a very good car and a terrible car. The four-wheeled Pigeon is 126th place. That did not do well. The tie rod snapped almost immediately on that, which surprises me. The Pigeon normally has quite strong front ends, but apparently the four-wheel version not quite up to the task. But there we have it. There will be a link in the description of this video if you want to see the full leaderboard of all the vehicles. 130 something have gone around here. It has been quite a series. It has been quite a series indeed. I always love doing Driven Till Destruction. This has been a fantastic track for it. There is going to be a little... So there'll be a break from this series for now, because, well, they'll need a new circuit before we can come back to it. I might have a go at designing one myself at some point if I can figure out how all of Beam works. If anyone fancies having a go at building a destruction circuit, it's quite difficult to get the right balance between letting the car survive for a bit without being, able to keep going indefinitely and still being punishing. It takes, it's a fiddle. It's been a great track though. I've very much enjoyed the challenges around here. I think we've had some incredibly spectacular failures. I'm leaving with footage of me trying to launch cars. A lot of people, like I said about the cars jumping over the fence. And it's, cars back being too quick. They legitimately can either clear the fence or just smack straight into it. So I thought I'd show that why they have to be slow over the shafted jump, or a sensible speed over the shafted jump. But this has been a really cool track. I've enjoyed this one. There's been some really wacky failures around here, which is always entertaining. So yeah, there we go. That is going to be it for this video. It is going to be it for this Driven Till Destruction series. It will be back at some point in the future. That, though, is going to be it for today. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.